Hello, this is Gihan Pereira. As a leader, do you know enough about AI to start using it with your team? Now, this is not a trick question because the answer is I think you definitely don't need to know everything about AI, and you probably don't even need to know as much as you think you do, for two reasons. So let me explain an experience that happened to me a few weeks ago. I was speaking at a conference, a leadership forum, where I'd been engaged with a client to do the opening keynote presentation to talk about what it takes to be a future-ready leader in this organization. And this client is very, very keen to amplify and elevate leadership in his team, and he's also... we might be interrupted by a couple of very demanding Cocker Spaniels here as we go, but we'll see. So my client is keen in talking about leadership, but also really interested in digital and AI and data. So he had me doing the opening keynote presentation, but one of the other activities he'd organized for the day was a hackathon. And the way this hackathon worked is he had a group of university students coming in, and these are students who are learning about AI and data and digital, and there are these groups of students all around, and he brought one of them in, and what they do is they solve problems using data. So at the start of the day, before my keynote presentation started, he introduced these students, and one of his managers talked about a problem that they had in the organization. In the organization, they have a lot of equipment, and the problem that they were trying to solve was how can we predict when equipment's likely to fail so that we can do maintenance beforehand, so we can do maintenance before it's required. So what he did was he gave these students this problem to solve. They gave access to all the data that they needed, and then they worked away through the day to try and solve that problem. And I won't go into the exact details of the solution they found, but typically when this group works on problems like this, they'll come up with something like some sort of smart AI solution to it, or they might create an app, or they might have some sort of data dashboard. And the key is that they solve the problem in a day. Now, this is the sort of problem that in that organization and many others, it would take weeks and months, sometimes even years, to find a solution to that problem. But in this case, they solved it in a day. And the reason I'm talking about this is, first of all, I just want to share the story because it's an amazing story of how AI and data can solve problems now. But the key point is this. The leaders in that organization, my client and some of his managers, they didn't know how to solve the problem, but they created an environment where, with the appropriate guardrails and deciding what data to share and what was appropriate or not, and identifying the problem that they want to solve, they had a group of people who were experts in AI and data who could solve that problem for them. And I think the same's true for many organizations and many teams. And I wonder if it's true for your team as well. I wonder whether you've got smart people. They don't necessarily need to be young people, smart, enthusiastic, excited people who are really interested in AI and data and digital, and all they need is the permission, the space and the resources to solve problems. So this is why I think you don't need to know everything you need to know about AI before you start AI projects, for two reasons. One is you've probably already got the skill and talent in your team, and the second reason is that we don't really know what AI projects are going to look like. So even before you start the project, you don't necessarily know how it's going to turn out. So along the way, the process will change. Maybe the goals will change, but definitely the way you're solving the problem will change, because we're all learning about AI now. And one of the most common mistakes I see leaders make is they think they need to know everything, or at least enough to be able to clearly define an AI project and at least understand the steps to solving the problem that they've got. And it's just not true. This is one of the problems and one of the mistakes that I'm going to address in my coming virtual masterclass, which is for leaders, and it's all about the mistakes to avoid when you're embarking on these AI projects. It's free, it's public, it's open to everybody, so please register, and because it is open to everybody, share it with other people in your team and your network as well. I'm sure you'll get value from it. I'll see you in the future.